Hey, this is Erika Brown. I am here with Soulful Revelations tonight. It's your girl, it's your sister, it's your friend, it's your auntie. We are here tonight and we are ready. I just make some housekeeping notes for everyone who watches Soulful Revelations by Erika. We have it's more so like Soulful Revelations by Erika and friends. So, but
Right.
we are also on YouTube. If there's a time that you want to go on YouTube and watch any of our old videos, you can. Everyone knows that TikTok, I mean, not TikTok, sorry, not TikTok, not TikTok. Facebook, they're only keeping our live videos for 30 days. So after 30 days, they go away. So if you ever want to go watch videos, see clips of certain clips, you can go to our YouTube page, Soulful Revelations by Erika, and see us there. Thank you for watching in tonight. Go ahead and now let my guest host introduce herself.
I am Sharice Young, best friend of Erica Brown.
For a long, long time.
And your
Uh,
other auntie. And your other auntie.
Listen, that is the Auntie Red. Yeah, that's
Right.
the Auntie Red. But tonight, actually, Sharice actually came up with this topic that we have tonight, and I'll let her explain where she got the topic from, and then how we kind of came up with the fact that we were bringing it on the podcast. Go ahead, Sharice. I'll let you explain.
So I was, like most of us, well, I found out that a lot of people don't watch TikTok. But a lot of podcasts uh, come up, sessions or forums come up on my clips come up on my For You page on TikTok. And I was watching one particular podcast, and the lady that asked the question about it was a relationship question. And I listened to the response of the people, and then I saw her facial expression. And I said, I know that people want to be so considered to be so powerful in their forums and being uh, so-called inspirational to other people, but sometimes I think that they never think about where a person might be in their life and how it could have an adverse effect on somebody. Like they may say that they're trying to encourage, but it might, somebody might think of they're tearing them down or say, well, why did I even ask that question? Because sometimes people don't really want the truth.
Absolutely, absolutely, they don't. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that's where I got it from. Like I just, when I was talking to you about it, it bothered me a little bit. So I was like, that'll be a good topic for us to talk about because people need to guard their ear gates and they need to
Absolutely.
um, be careful of always inviting people to give them advice because sometimes people can give you advice from testimony, but then sometimes people can give you advice that is that you may not be ready for. You might not be in that season to receive that, or they might just be out of line.
Absolutely. I think that so I'm leaving work last night and I don't know if I called you or you called me. I'm not sure how it went, but I'm leaving work last night and we're talking and I start to talk about a sermon that I had been listening to over a couple days. And it was by Pastor Darius Daniels, whom which I follow greatly. And it says the title of it is "Were You Given the Wrong God?" And I was like, What does that mean? You know, and it was it for one, it was powerful. If you get a chance to watch it, go on YouTube and watch it. Pastor Darius Daniels, and he spelled his name Darius, Dharius. And if you get a chance, just go in there and watch it. But from that, it when she brought the topic, I was like, this is so what he was speaking of. And basically, in a nutshell, he was talking about the things that we are influenced by. And one of the biggest thing that kind of hit home for me is when we're following God as Christians, when we don't know God for ourselves, we're following the God of those who we're following. And a lot of times we start to listen to the God within them.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, when they're going through stages of their lives where there's still battles, we're still listening to the same God that's within them. So sometimes it may come off as if we're battling their insecurities sometimes, because sometimes when people are teaching you and they're still going through their own battles, they will project their insecurities off on you. And this is not for anyone to feel slighted or anything about people who they consider leadership. But this is for you to get to know the God for yourself, because people are not always in heal spots. People are not
Right,
always in places where they're giving you the perfect word and they fasted for days. And no, we're not. We're human. So we're not fasting every time we come and give a word to somebody. And
right,
we're not in the word 24 hours out of a day. And there are times when we're going to fight battles, and then we still have to talk to people and encourage them.
yes,
Period.
yes,
So sometimes you will bleed on your people. So this is important by constantly telling your people to know God for themselves. Know the God that is in the Bible yourself. Because if you don't know God accurately, and we're made in his image, then you start to distort how you view yourself.
right. And project that onto other people.
Yes. So if you're viewing yourself in a sense of, "Ah, I'm going to be in trouble all the time with God," that's how you're going to feel. You're never going to feel his love if you're always looking at his tyrancy. We don't serve a tyrant God. We
Right,
serve a loving God. We serve an omnipotent God. It is say he is a jealous God. That's because he says you will have no gods above me.
right,
And you know what that God can be? That God can be a Louis Vuitton bag. That God can be a husband that you desperately want. That God can be the children that you put on pedestals. Those are gods that you can place before God. Period. Go ahead. You want to add something to that, Sharice?
I just know that it like um I remember going on women's retreat, and my roommate, oh, I can't remember, it had to be like 99, 2000, 99, 98. And the lady who I shared a room with, she was telling me about her being in a space of freedom from a relationship that she was in with a married man. And, it gave me some hope. And I remember maybe a couple of weeks after we came back, I saw her in the car with the man. And it did something to me, right? Because I said, I watched it, I wholeheartedly believed her. And I had hope that, you know, this what I'm in, I could get out of too. And when I saw her and she had no shame in saying, "Hey, baby, come over here," and because I knew them personally, and I was like,
Say,
"Ain't
Mister,
this
you
something?"
right, Mister.
Right? I was like, "Ain't this something?" Right? And it kind of made me back up, like from
Mhm,
going to church because
mhm,
we went to the same church together. We were on a women's retreat, right?
mhm.
We went to a conference, and it pushed me back a little bit because I had a lot of respect for her. I had known her
Mhm.
for many years, and that what I saw, it crushed me. Like, it made
Wow.
me look at people in a different aspect. But that's before I knew that I need to take my eyes off of people and focus on God, because
Yeah.
sometimes we can look at people and have so much faith in them and their trials. And I'll tell people quick, I'm the dirty bird, baby. I came from the bottom, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, so it did something to me. So I learned that I can't be in ministry and um, focus on people.
Yes.
I have to be accountable for my life and
Yes.
not be focused on, like, not allow people to push me away from God because I see something that they did um that may have hurt me, or I won't say it hurt me, it's just it disappointed me,
It disappointed you.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I think we have all been there in that position where we were disappointed in someone. But
yeah,
I also feel like we've all been in a position that someone was disappointed in us.
right, right, right,
You
right,
know, so for me at this stage in my life, I try not to judge because I don't.
right,
I pray that I don't do certain things, but I
right,
don't know.
right.
Listen, I done ate them words a many a days.
Me
Like
too,
I
baby.
said, I would never, and everything I said I would never, I done.
Right.
So I think once you mature to a certain age, or because maturity doesn't always have that. I believe once you have gone through enough in life and you start paying attention to how life goes, I think it changes
Right,
with the fact that you don't judge so hard because you already know life don't really, yeah, no, I don't really go like that.
right,
You want it to be all, roses and, as the people say, unicorn parts, but it's just not that.
right,
It's the reality to it is people gonna be people. We're gonna fall short of the glory of God. We all are. I don't care where you are in your walk. You're gonna have a reason to ask for forgiveness. You're gonna have a reason to repent. I don't care
right,
where you are in your walk. I hear
right,
people say, "Oh, I'm sin free." There is no. You are in a fleshly body. There is
right,
no way that you are absolutely, totally, totally free from sin. I don't care
right,
if it's just that you're high minded like Job was. I
right,
don't care if it's just that you're now looking your nose down upon someone because you think you done made it, or the fact that you feel like I come from this and I come from that. So my family is we did it. That is considered high mindedness to a
right,
certain degree. It's nothing wrong with being proud of where you come from. There's nothing wrong with being proud of the heritage and where you come from. I'm talking about thinking that you're better than someone because of where you come from. So we're
mhm,
all going to go through battles in life where maybe someone is going to be disappointed in us and maybe we're not going to do the thing that people feel like we should do. But the bottom line is also what is influencing us. Like what is influencing you on your journey in life, and who's influencing you on your journey in life. Like if you're not thinking about those things, life gets real funky when you're not thinking about who is influencing you in your world. And I was speaking with a young lady today, and one of the biggest things is I was expressing to her how if I'm sitting over here with my heart and I'm in a relationship and my heart is over here in my relationship, and I can sit and pinpoint everything that's going wrong in your relationship, but I can't see what's going on in my own relationship. And it's not that I can't see it. I can see it. I'm just not ready to deal with it.
Right.
And because my heart is not in your relationship, I can see all that and be willing to tell you all of what's going on in your relationship. Now, I'm not saying this is what I do because I don't do that, but I'm saying this is what people do
Right.
because they can see everything that's going on in your life. They can influence you and tell you everything that you're doing wrong in your life because their lives are absolutely perfect. That is not true. It's just that they're in a reality that they're not ready to face yet. So
And
it's easy. Go ahead.
then they crash.
Oh yeah. What you say? Perfect Patty. All messed up.
Yeah. Oh,
So when you're presenting perfection to people, one thing that I can tell you that I don't present it to the world. I don't. I don't present my imperfections to the world. But to the people who know me the best, they know I own my junk. Like
right.
whatever it is, I just own it. Because they don't have a heaven and hell to put me in
Right.
whatsoever. They don't own it. They got to stand in the same judgment line that I got to stand in. So I think we have to be able to own the fact of what we do, but kind of sit back and wonder like who's influencing us and who, in the direction that we're going in our lives. Like we're at this middle point in life. So who's influencing us going forward? And I always say this: if they're not constantly educating you, if it's someone that's always putting you down, if it's someone who's always pointing out your flaws, if it's someone that's always who's always pointing negative at you, that is a person who's projecting. That is a person who has the feeling of that for themselves, and don't let people project on you. And when
Right.
I say projecting, don't let people put their insecurities and pour them in your lap.
And
Because, go
uh,
ahead. No, 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 go ahead.
that's like somebody who I, I remember a long time ago somebody was asking me some stuff about marriage, and I said, why don't you put that same energy that you want to go out there and find you somebody else into in your marriage? If you have not given 100% to your marriage, then how can you say that it has failed if you haven't did everything that you can do? And you can't listen to somebody who has several failed marriages tell you something, because that's a projection of their hurt, because they're going to project their them not being able to trust people onto you. And you have to, when you are married to somebody, you are responsible for that person. So um when you go to listening to somebody else tell you about, oh, if I was you, I wouldn't do this, or don't trust no man, don't do this and don't do that. Sometimes people do things, people I don't know why people don't understand. Unhealed people do get married.
What? They the main ones getting married. The ones who trying to heal living single.
Unhealed people do get married, and you're gonna go try to find you a married person. You think this woman got it all together, and that woman might be you. You don't know, this lady at your job might try, oh, my husband this and my husband that, my husband this, and meanwhile at the house it's hell and havoc over there.
Raggedy in the mango seed. Yes, but this is what I heard someone say yesterday. I was listening to, so I'm always listening to something very positive, whatever it is. If it's if it's not music, it's probably some form of word. And I was listening to it yesterday, and it says People are leaving marriages because they want to give people the love that they want to give them, not the love that they need to feel love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's because people are not willing to accept the fact that the love that they're giving is not what their mate wants.
Right.
And it's simple. When I say it's simple, it's merely asking questions. Ask questions. And don't get me wrong. If I put 10 women in a room and I ask them, what do you want out of life? I can probably bet my paycheck that 9 of them are not going to give me an answer because they don't know. So
Right.
someone can't give you something that they don't know. But a lot of times for people, it's a feeling and not a word.
Mm-hmm.
It is how you're making someone feel. If anyone has ever experienced infidelity, you know what it felt like before you even knew that it was infidelity.
Right.
You know how you felt. And sometimes it is a feeling that you feel and not necessarily a word or a word that you can express. Now, I'm very expressive. My mother said she should have not let me express myself so much when I was a kid because maybe I shut up as an adult. But that didn't happen. So therefore, I was able to express myself as a kid. So I'm very expressive in the things that I desire in life. Some people that's a turn off because they're so used to women not knowing, women being damsel in distress. But I can express of something that I want, and it's okay. Some people love it, like, oh my God, you just told me what you wanted. Oh, that's what I wanted. But because of the way in which I was raised, because of the lineage and how my mother decided to parent us, she allowed me to be expressive because when she was a kid, she was not afforded the value of expression. So she said when she became a mother, she always wanted her children to be able to express themselves. So to me, that was a blessing that my mother saw the value in a kid expressing themselves versus a lot of parents don't value their kids talking to them because they just keep looking at them as kids and go sit down somewhere and I don't feel like talking. Um, but that alone is necessary, very, very necessary. Um, and that's my influence to be expressive. Go ahead. You want to add something to that?
Mm, not
No?
really.
Okay. So I want to add this. Sometimes we fall in love with a God that we don't even know, a God that we created in our minds of what He is, and didn't take the time to get to know who God really is. So therefore, you're now being influenced by a false God that's not the true and living God. So how will someone get to a point that they truly are seeking the love of the Father? That's a question for you.
Say it again. 'Cause I keep hearing something else.
Somebody talking to you. So
Is somebody
how
go
would
ahead.
someone get to a point that they are seeking to fall in love with the God, the true and living God, and not the God that they made up in their mind that He is?
The word of encouragement that I always give people is take God out that box that you got him in.
Mm,
Um, because we have the opportunity to be totally ourselves because he created us. He knows who we are.
mm-hmm,
He made us in his image. And
mm-hmm,
people put him in a box. Um, what I do for a living, I come across at least maybe 8 women a week that I interview, and I'm always telling God that that He can use me. And sometimes when I get to a place of asking certain questions, um, these young ladies will say, "Miss Sharice, how you know that about me? You don't even know me, right?"
Mhm.
And then I always give them encouragement of writing these things down that you want God to do. If you take Him out of this box
Mhm.
and you tell Him what you want, you can be honest with Him because He knows you. Like even my mindfulness and my prayer, like sometimes I feel like I need to be very detail oriented to let God know exactly. Like He don't know me.
Like you
Like
don't
I'm
already
in
know.
the, yeah, let me introduce you to me one more time. So
Hey, remember me? I'm the one they call Rick.
right. You
Right.
stumbling over words and everything, trying to get that thing. I don't want to miss nothing out that I need because I'm letting you know. You said that I have not because I asked not. So I'm asking you right now. So
Yes.
to take him out of the box and to spend time, like um some days I have where I just need to be alone and I need to sit alone and I need to just let everything go. Let some of the things that I may be dealing with go. What
Mhm.
I've learned is, as you get older, you start having ailments in your body. You don't have that pick me up and go like you do when you're 25 years old. But the more things that you go through in life and you hold those things in, it starts to affect your body. I had a young lady tell me that she went to the doctor because she was dealing with some stuff and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And and so as she began to tell me some of the things that she was experiencing, she said, and I said, yeah, that's coming from that stuff that you holding in. Our body gets affected by those type of things.
Mhm.
Um, just like people don't really understand that people really do die from a broken heart. Um, you see couples that have been together for years and then they die. Some people don't want to live without their mate and they give up.
Yeah.
And um, so if you don't want to be stagnated in life, you should always want to be curious about who he is and what he is capable of um allowing you to be if you have a desire to grow. If you don't, a lot of people, you know what I always say, Erica, I ain't want to die no old fool because I want to still be teachable. And so I feel like that is what these platforms and all different types of books and uh, apps that you can get inspiration from. I believe that God uses those things to help us and to guide us. Because you know how sometimes you may hear somebody preach something like you said, Darius, what that word was, you was listening to the word before I had called you, and it kind of coincide what we were going to talk about tonight. It's like that's that thing that maybe that's what God wanted us to do, right? So people have to look for those moments of how he is trying to get certain things to us.
I agree. I think that they first have to silence the noise in their lives.
Right.
Um, Sometimes it's so much noise going on. And when I say noise, I don't mean busy with life. I mean the noise that's telling them that they're not enough, the noise that's telling them that they're going to be alone, the noise that's telling them they're not going to have what they want in life, they're not going to get the things that they desire in life. That noise. You first have to silence the noise. And once you silence the noise, you will start to reject those who tell you you won't have what you want in life.
Hmm.
you will reject them
Mm-hmm.
because you will learn that a healthy boundary between you and another person who obviously does not see you to be bigger than them, so therefore they don't want you to get the things that you want in life, because if they can't get it, clearly you can't either.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you'll start rejecting that noise. And this is the thing, sometimes those people are closer than you think. And you have to get to a point to not hate or be dismissive of those people, but understand there is a trauma within that person that makes them feel that I don't want her to be more than me.
Right.
And be okay with that. Like, not take it personally. You can't take it personally, because when you start taking it personally, then you're not going to grow, because now you're holding on to a grudge of someone else's trauma that has nothing
Right.
to do with you. Like, it has nothing to do with you. So you'll reject those things, and then you'll learn how to uh, uh, clearly share or not share
Mm-hmm.
your next move.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
It's
Period.
always best to be when you see it that you learn how to,
Maneuver around it. Like, this
yeah,
is
and
not about,
yeah,
this is
not
not about just going around cutting off people and I'm done with her. I'm done with her. She don't want me to succeed. He don't want me to succeed. Da da da. No, 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 no.
mm,
You're gonna find a lot of that in life. And it's more so sometimes people are afraid of your success because it creates a space in their own heads that I'm not going to be successful because now Sharice is successful. So I can't be successful. No. If anything, it should create a looking glass to say, if Sharice can do it, so can I.
mm-hmm,
But that's not how some people are wired. They're
mm-hmm,
more so wired to say, I don't want her to have it, but I don't want to work for it. But I just don't want her to have it.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I have another question about influence. Who is influencing you in your marriages? Who's influencing you in your marriages? And I say that to say this. Probably the majority of our families, both you and I, they have either been married or is married. So therefore, we have seen marriages in a number of stages in life. We have been privy to watch marriages go through multiple stages in life. And if I can tell the God honest truth, if I can tell the TRUF, there is two between our families, and I'll add a third. She gonna be amazed that I actually even said her name, but I'm gonna say her name anyway. There are two people, two marriages in our families that we have been privy to watch, and I can honestly say that those two couples are good friends, and that's your sister and her husband, and my sister and her husband,
Mm-hmm.
because we have watched them go through many stages of their marriages in life. But when I see when my sister and her husband enjoy being around each other after 30 plus years of marriage, they still can laugh and clown and joke and have a good time. That tells you something about marriage. Like, when I look, and the other person I'm going to add is, I hope she watching. I hope she watching. I hope she go back and watch this right here. But Miss Rita Williams and her husband Jeffrey. When I say that is a couple that I have seen stand the test of time, go through any of the normal things that marriages go through. But when I say those two people love each other and it's visual, I can see the love that he has for his wife. I can see the love that she has for her husband. And if anybody watching on here and they know Miss Rita, Queen Rita Williams, that
Because
would be
everybody clean to her.
everybody. So
Mhm.
but just being able for us to see marriages through a looking glass. No, we're not trying to model their marriages and how they did it, but it gives us an understanding is no matter what you go through, if you can still love each other as friends, you can get through it.
Right,
Like literally, you can maneuver through it. You know, and those are the things that keep me hopeful because being able to watch someone like that and this is it when you are a close knit family and you're a close knit you and your sister are close you see everything but
right,
when I say the love is still there how they love each other as friends. Like I feel like people can love you, but when they don't like you, that ain't gonna really work.
right, right, right,
Like it's not gonna work. I mean, I've been in a relationship that I love somebody, but I couldn't stand the ground that they walked on. Like I can't
r-
stand him. But the love was there.
right,
But you need more than love. Love
right.
is not going to carry you. You need way more than love in order to be carried in life. In a relationship, you need way more than love. And so I just wanted you to add like your piece in what influences you in marriage.
Well, I think that, well, my sister and my brother, I think when you are looking in people's marriages
Mhm.
and you see the love, it's some things that you see, it's some of those things that you should desire. Like, I think one of the first things that when I became a woman that I realized that my brother-in-law had was his protection of my sister. Right.
Mhm.
Like I watched him, um and they've been together over 30 something years and I've only probably seen him mad maybe twice, right? And and the one time I was like, oh yeah, it's time for me to go home because I ain't never seen, like, I don't
You
even
like,
want to see what's gonna happen next. I just want to keep that thought of who I know that he is, this man of God that he
right,
is. Oh, let me
right.
go home, right? But I admire how he has cared for my sister, um and he's a humble man.
Mhm.
So I think like my husband is a humble man. So
Mhm.
like that's one of the things that I took from him that I wanted. Like I wanted to have a humble man. So a humble man that's a provider, and that's exactly who my husband is. And just watching them even after their kids got grown, just like still spending that time and still doing dates and those type of things. Like that was, I think, in personally in my life, up close and personal, that's the only relationship that I can honestly say that is an influence to me. There's
Mhm.
not too many marriages
Marriages.
in my family that I could say besides my sister and my brother.
Yeah, yeah. I think that, watching both of them, seeing some of the hard times. I mean, heck, me and you've been friends since third grade, so we've seen a lot of things between our
Well,
families.
I don't take your brother and sister seriously because every time I see, just yesterday, I told you what happened yesterday. I
Yes,
rolled up on them yesterday. So, we was like, I pulled off laughing at them. So, yeah.
yes. But it's one of those things that and this is not to promote any type of perfection. None of these people are perfect.
Right.
Uh, None of these people are perfect. However, I can tell you this for my brother, my sister, and I call him, he's more of my brother because he's been in my family since I was 13 and I'm 50.
Right.
So he's been in my family just that long. But my brother in law, but I promise you, even because most of the people in my family know that I try not to judge no situation. I don't really care how bad or good it is. I try my best not to judge no situation. So I'm easy to talk to. So my brother-in-law talked to me just like my sister talked to me. And my sister gets mad because I say I'm not on your team. I
Hmm.
tell him I'm not on your team. So don't come to me thinking I'm on your team. I'm Team Mac. That's their last name.
Right.
That's the team that I'm on.
Right.
So you talking about Team Mac? I'm
The
not
whole
on your.
thing. The whole thing.
So just because I'm your sister doesn't mean that I'm going to instantly take your side. And vice versa. Just because I love Don as my brother, I'm not going to instantly take his side. However, it when it comes down to influence, they are a great influence of a looking glass of something to see. It's
Right.
not to barter. It's not to imitate. It's just to see. It's to see what you are desiring in life. And I think we have to see that wholeheartedly everywhere. My nieces that are single, they know how to move in single life because when I see them moving like they auntie, I was like, oh yeah, she got that from her auntie right
Hmm.
there. Because you move like a lady, and I've been a huge influence on their lives.
Hmm.
So they've seen how I maneuver throughout things in life. So we need influences also with being single. Like you need to show, especially this oversexed generation that we live in, how
Hmm.
to be a lady in this season or this generation that they're living in. And what better person to teach them than someone who loves them dearly and wants the absolute best for them? So
Right.
I can tell you, especially those who were single in their single season, they will be like, "Hey, Auntie, let me ask you a question. What should I do? Should I da 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 da?" It's those things. But I think because one of the things that I admired the most, my niece, my sister's daughter, she had a picture of me and her mom on her wall for probably about 10 years of her life until she moved out. And to me, that made me feel we're her influences. We're
Hmm.
her positive role models. We're the women that she desires to be. And that's
Right.
a big role. You know how people used to say back in the day, I don't want to be a role model. Well, if you're an influencer, you're a role model. So
Right.
you have a duty to do. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna mess that up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna mess that up too.
Hmm.
However, we don't serve a God, we serve a God of grace, where people may not give you that grace. Our God will. And
Yeah.
you can't stand on the grace of people. You have to keep moving on. You can't stand waiting for people to give you grace. You have to keep moving on. And you say, you know what? Maybe that season for that person is over in my life, but then now I need to move into the next season of where God has me to go, because
Hmm.
he's going to protect you along the way as long as you're staying in your word, as long as you're focusing on him. It
Hmm.
may not, it may be a season where you're trying to learn how to maneuver from being married to being single. What does that look like? One of my nieces went through a divorce, and I said, you know what, child, I got divorced for you so I can help you through this process. So,
Hmm.
and help her understand where her feelings were, that her feelings were validated. Don't invalidate your feelings, but you still have to go through the process of this. And it's okay. Like it's okay. I'm gonna walk you through it.
I
And
feel
I
like as long as someone, takes something from every experience. Like that's how you know when you're growing and you're evolving, when you can sit back and look at that situation and say, what can I learn from this? Right.
mm-hmm.
I always
Yeah.
tell people, and on jobs, if you leave it, if if God tells you, if he shows you that this your season is up on a job, you have to say, what did I learn? I learned, like my last job, I learned how to be a professional on
Mm-hmm.
my last job, right? I learned a lot of, I remember when I first started this job that I have, my boss said, Sharice, you sure you know how to work on a computer? I, s- Now she asked me, can you come to my office and help me out with this? And I said, oh no, baby, not the one that didn't know how to. And so she said, you always throwing that up my face. I said, I just want to keep you on your toes, baby, because next
Right?
time you ask me, why you
Go ahead
asking
and say
me
that
for
no more.
help? But
Yes,
um yeah, but it's you have to sit back and you have to learn, because if you don't learn, you're gonna keep on going through that same thing, because
yes,
God allows you to go through certain things to build character in you. And a lot of times people don't even want their character to be built up. They think that they could go um they think that they can go from one thing to the next thing and don't learn something, and they kind of, why I gotta always go through this? Because you're not learning what you were supposed to learn the last season that you went through that.
yes,
And
yes, yes,
anything that you are free from, it's gonna come back to you to see if it has a place to dwell.
yes,
So if you can't get out of yourself,
mm-hmm.
because how you gonna help somebody else unless you go through, right? So that's like a person who has never picked up a Bible in a day
Mm-hmm.
in their life and tell you, oh, oh, I don't want to hear nothing about them. That's your God, this, and then that person go through something, and then they want to come ask you, can you pray to your God for them?
I done been there, done that too many times. But you know
It's
what?
like,
And I don't judge. I
you be
don't judge,
like, come
but
on,
I don't
girl,
judge
let's
because
go.
I don't know what someone's trauma experience has been in church.
Church
Because
hurt.
they may have just been under ministry that all they talked about is somebody going to hell.
Yeah,
So
right, right.
so if you're under a ministry and all you people are talking about is somebody going to hell, and you already one foot in and the other foot on a banana peel, you're saying to yourself, well, why I'm gonna go to church and get sent to hell? I might as well just go on back out there in the streets and do it
Mm,
on your own. You know, and
mm-hmm,
that's how people are seeing it. That's why it's like you got to show these people love. That's the
mm-hmm.
influence. The influence is love. I'm not saying correction never comes. That's not what I'm saying. But it's not that you correct, it's how you correct. Are
Right.
you doing it out of respect? Because there's nothing worse to me than you disrespecting me and saying it's called correction. I know
Mm-hmm.
the difference between disrespect and correct.
Right.
So you can't come to me and disrespect me and then call it correction. No, 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 no. I know the difference. I'm not 20. So you
Right.
have to come to people with respect. If there is something that needs to be told, period. It's a matter of respect. So I think that if you're able, like I was talking with a young lady and I was getting ready to give her an answer and I paused. And she was like, just spit it out, Miss Erica, just spit it out. And I said, no, because whatever I say, I still have to protect your feelings.
Right.
Like I can't just blurt out whatever I am. I have this thing right here called a filter. And that filter stops me from blurting out whatever I'm feeling in the moment. So no, because we are influencers, we have to be careful in what we give these people. Even even when it comes to our past life. Now you know me and you joke about our past lives all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, there is a season where I may have to get a little detail with a person
Right.
just to give them an understanding of I'm not judging you. I've walked those shoes before.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's not to glorify it.
Right.
It's to say, hey, listen, I've been there. I understand. I'm here with you to walk through this process with you.
Right.
You know, and that's the kind of influence that you want. Don't get me wrong. It's a gazillion podcasts. No more than this one right here. It's 10,000 more podcasts out there. Everybody's
Right.
trying to influence somebody some way, somehow. However, the biggest influencer is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That is the biggest influencer right there. And if you want whoever not Christian, hey, listen, I can't make you be Christian. I can't save myself, so I can't save you. So all I can do is accept the Lord as my Lord and Savior. But there is something bigger than what you're seeing all the time. And it's God. It's God. So once you get to a point, and I'm not talking about the little G God, talking about the big G God. Once you get to a point that you really want to know more about God, ask in prayer. I'm not talking about just going around asking people questions about, God this, God that, God this, God that. I had someone ask me about the book of Job today, and she said, I just didn't understand it. And I know you told me about him a while ago, and I'm just trying to get an understanding of it. So I had to listen to it like 3, 4 times to get it. And she says, when I got it, I was like, but God, why he had to go through all of that? And I was like, he was a perfect and upright man, but he was high-minded. And I was like, that's that's the season and the process that God took him through. We don't get to choose it. We
Mm-hmm.
don't get to choose what God allows us to go through in life. And the minute people understand that, they stop looking at other people instantly.
Yeah.
You'll stop looking at other people and their lives and how they live in and how they do this, that, and third. You'll stop looking at them immediately. You
Because
don't care
I
if he cheated on his wife or she cheated on her husband. You wouldn't care if they children raggedy. You wouldn't care if she can't keep no job or he can't keep no job. You wouldn't pay attention to any of that. And when
right,
you hear it, it'll go off your head like, psh. Because I recognize I don't know what else that I still have to go through while I'm still here on this earth.
right.
So nobody else's business and what they got going on is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's irrelevant. Yes. But go ahead. I
Hey,
did want oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I'll let you go. I was gonna jump to another
I
topic.
just, the thing how I try to tell my kids, the opinions of other people is not your business.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Like how somebody feel about you, that's not your business.
mm-hmm,
Especially when they don't know what you done been through in life to get where you are. Sometimes I say people, I bet you won't trade life. I bet you won't trade no life with me.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that some people go through seasons of things. Well, I'm sorry, we all go through seasons of things, but seasons of more things than others, right? And I think I told you this the other day. Um, was that maybe that wasn't you I was talking, maybe somebody else. I was saying that the seasons don't always look the same, but you're gonna go through them.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was you. Okay, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go through them. It doesn't matter what it. You're gonna go through the season. That's just a part of life. That's just a part of how this world goes. You got summer, spring, fall, winter. We got 4 seasons. You're going to go through the seasons of things in life. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. And that's what I always encourage people. Don't feel some kind of way because she up right now. Period.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I just told a girl this last night. She was telling me about a promotion that she got. And I said, I know it's hard for people to be happy for you. And she says, why would you say that, Miss Erika? I say, because it is. Because people feel like you shouldn't have it, but it's yours. And you're going to do great at it. And I'm
Right.
so happy for you. And she says, thank you. She was like, I knew you would be. And I was like, listen, I'm not that girl. I'd be
Right.
happy for people when they are moving up in life. I'd be happy for people. And I said, but this is the bad thing. The same people who are not happy for you in your growth were the same people that when you went through a divorce, those were the same people that said, oh, I'm here for you. Anything you need. Da, 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 da. She says, you are exactly right. I said they can handle your disappointment, but they cannot handle your promotion.
Mhm.
And sometimes you're just going to see those people in life. People can handle you when they're influencing you, but they cannot handle when other people start to influence you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I can handle it when it's me because I know they feel like she's not going to go above me because she need my
Mhm.
advice. But they can't
Yes,
handle you go above them. And now you're still being promoted. You've healed and now you're still being promoted. Yeah.
I used to tell my male cousins all the time, you better be careful what you ask me. Because first, I want to tell you that my response is always going to come from me being a woman. I'm a woman first before I'm your cousin. So when I tell you something, I'm talking to you in the aspect of being a woman.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm going to give it to you
Yes.
because I'm a woman first.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I just wanted to add this right here. Um, when, and this is coming from the Bible, when the prodigal son came back home to his daddy, he knew he had went out and squandered all his money. He knew he wanted to be accepted back to the father's house. And the one thing he said before he got there is, "Let me just let me see if I can just possibly ask my dad." And I'm paraphrasing. "Let me see if I can just ask my dad if I can just be a slave in his house so I can be accepted back. I just need to get back home to my daddy."
Mhm.
But the daddy, when he saw his son, he sent for the clothing in the ring. So he reclothed his son to let him know that you come from goodness and royalty. So you're not, even if he thought about being enslaved in his daddy's house, his daddy was not going to allow him to because he knew where his son came from. But sometimes we will allow sin, disappointment, and we will allow things of failures to bring us so low to the fact that I just accept anything if you just accept me back in. And that's just not the God that we serve.
Mm-mm.
We cannot allow our disappointments, our mishaps to change who God is in our life. God is a big influence in our life. He's a big God. He's a big G God. He's not no little G God. So we have to move accordingly. You mess up, jump back in the saddle again. Period.
Mhm.
Quit
Yeah.
focusing on the mess up.
Mhm.
You mess up, jump back in the saddle again. I remember telling a girl years ago, I was like, she expressed to me some things that she had gone through and some mistakes that she had made. And I said, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and get healed because there's people out here hurt who need you. So I wasn't gonna focus on her mistakes. And that's what we have to do in life. We can't focus on people's mistakes. Those are good influencers who cannot focus on someone's mistake, who does not continually remind someone of where they are in life in hopes that you going to beat them down to make them change. You not. You just
Right.
going to beat them down. You not. You can say over and over, you ain't this, you ain't this, you ain't this. You can say over and over, you this, you this, you this, you this. That is not going to help nobody change. So the
Mhm.
key is what's influencing you, who's influencing you, and who are you influencing?
Mhm.
Because we're not going to help nobody grow by beating them down. The word says, love and kindness shall I draw thee. The only way you're going to draw people is love.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the only way you're going to draw people. All right. Did you have some? We're right at an hour. Did you have some words of encouragement that you want to give?
Um, I just know that I I always tell people God is big enough that If he wanted us to go through something alone, he could put us here. He was big enough to put all of us here by ourselves if that's what he wanted. But he put us here for one another and for
Yes.
us to be here. So when you go through things, you go back and you get somebody else. When he put people before you, you look for ways to encourage, because I had a young lady tell me, Miss Sharice, I was almost at suicide. I had a young lady tell me one day, I'm at my breaking point. And I gave her some encouragement. And she left my office. Before she left, she said, I promise you I'm going to make some changes. Because what you just said to me today, you just opened my eyes that I'm the person that helps everybody, but don't nobody want to help me do nothing. And I was there to encourage her. And because I've been through what she's been through. And so I could help her, because people think that somebody has to have a clergy outfit in order for them to be able to help you. It's some people out here in this world that done been
It's
through,
called marketplace ministry.
right, that done been through some stuff that look just like you, right,
Mm-hmm.
that look like you. Most of the time you see people who seem like they got it all together, and the people that's ready to crash out. And so if you ever get that opportunity where you're in a space and you can help somebody, help them. Help
Mm-hmm.
them in love. But understand that sometimes look for those signals of they may not be ready to receive also. And you can't push yourself on somebody if they're not ready to receive from you. And you
Nope.
just pray and ask God, if I'm not the vessel, send the people.
Mm-hmm.
Send the people. I
Yes,
feel like
because
that.
that's what you really want. That's but
Right.
that's my thing. Is that what you just really want the person to get healed, or you feel like it got to come from you?
Right. Like even with
Yeah.
my children, I know who I am as a mom, and I said, Lord, if I'm not the one, send the people to listen. I know my children call you all the time trying to change me. Right,
You, Shanae children, my sister children. I'm like, y'all not gonna change y'all mamas.
right.
Yeah,
So send the people to help them. Send somebody to help, because we don't
absolutely.
want to be in. We see, like I was watching. And another thing that made me think about this is the millions and thousands of people that have killed themselves because of social media, because people have get in their inbox and say all kind of stuff that's damaging, not even knowing that this person might be trying to, they're using this platform because they know this platform might help them make a little extra money, and people get on there trying to kill them on this, and they kill themselves because of certain things on social media. So that's another reason why I thought about this, because people have to be mindful that you can damage somebody.
Yeah, yeah. You
Words
can
are
damage
really
somebody with your
powerful.
words. Absolutely, absolutely. Be the Christian, for one, that God has called you to be. And if you're not seeking who God has called you to be, and you're merely imitating what Pastor such and such and Sister Super Saved and said, that is God. He don't want no more imitations.
Right.
He literally want you to be the person that He has called you to be. I can remember Tabitha Brown saying that until she accepted all of who she was, she never made it in Hollywood. She never wholeheartedly made it. When she decided to accept the fact that she's Southern, that she's black, and accepting all her natural hair, when she started accepting that part, that's when she really made it. So God don't need no more imitators. He'll need you imitating the people who are before you.
Right.
Don't imitate. Be who He called you to be, because those are the greater influences. Because you are organically the person who God made you to be. Period. That's the
Mhm.
that's the true flex.
Right.
That's the real flex right there when you can
Right.
be your authentic self and who God made you to be. That means you ain't trying to fit in circles. You don't care if you ain't invited. You don't care if they didn't put your name on the list. None of that matters to you because you are being your authentic self. So the people that he has for you, they going to invite you. They going to call you to the table. They going to want you there. Period. Period.
Right.
Period. That's it. Period. So we're gonna end right there. We're past the hour. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. I saw all the likes and the hearts. Thank you guys for watching in tonight. I really, really, really appreciate you all. Once again, please go on YouTube and watch some of our old shows. Very, very influential. I think that God is doing something amazing with the podcast. Hopefully, we'll have so I have a new guest possibly coming on next month. But thank you guys for watching in tonight. I really, really appreciate you all. And once again, it's your girl, it's your sister, it's your friend, it's your auntie, Erika Brown with Soulful Revelations. We are signing off.
Good night.